So the other night it was the middle of the night and I was listening to the radio, and I kind of got this feeling, but I never know if I'm imagining things, that I was speaking, not the radio. That what was being said on the radio was being said by me, you know. And it reminded me in part of how I used to feel as a child, because as a small child, I used to imagine that I knew what people were going to say. It was so immediate that I knew what was coming next. And it was like that in its immediacy, but it was also kind of interesting to watch because I felt I was informing myself. It was me informing myself on the radio. It was, and I thought, well, if that is the case, then consciousness is informing itself of everything all the time. And it was like there was no difference between this body mind and the exterior world. It was one and the same. It was together. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely does.
Okay.
Does it make any sense to the mind?
Well, the mind wasn't in there.
I know, but
now, you know, speaking normally, no, that doesn't make any sense at all, not even to me.
Good. Then trust the experience.
Right.
It won't make sense to the mind. Was that you speaking on the radio? Yes.
Yes, definitely was.
Good.
I thought it was interesting that the mind thought it was interesting that the things that I was informing myself of were those particular things. I could have been informing myself of anything.
You remember, you've probably heard me say on a few occasions, when we come together in the satsang like this, I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
That's what you experienced.
Yes.
Trust that. Yeah. Let go of the mind, Lizzie. What it's saying is so not what actually is.
Well, on that topic, perhaps you could straighten me out on this. I think it concerns where consciousness is placed in the whole game. The first time I spoke to you, I think, I got the impression that I was seeing things, big, you know, consciousness saw things, but then the mind reflected things back. And I said, how can I see things that I have already seen? How can mind see for a second time what consciousness saw for the first time? It's not possible.
Good. Correct.
But that took me, you know, a couple of months to work out what the fuck I'd said then. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. So
yeah.
the seeing happens, yeah, and then the mind steps in and creates a story or a concept about the seeming scene, yeah, and then take the story to be that was seen.
Yes.
Where seeing itself, there's no story.
Yes, so that, you know, it in a way it comes back to it is linked, it appears, to cause and effect. There can be the effect is the mind seeing back, and the cause is consciousness seeing.
Yeah.
And because there's no such thing as the mind seeing back, there is no such thing as effect. So it must be that consciousness is the generator. And consciousness is the generator, and that is all that's happening.
Very
it
good.
Just generates, and there's no response. Yeah.
Very good.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay.
Absolutely makes sense. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, this is, you know, talking about your reflection in the mirror and everything. This is like, for me, the reflection in the mirror. You know, if you're in a public toilet, other people might look at you in the mirror and say hi, and you look at them in the mirror and say hi.
yeah.
And this is what is happening. This is mostly what this body mind thing is engaged in at a collective level, is seeing, is trying to interpret what other people see about it and trying to be that which other people see about it, and then imposing that very thing on other people. It's very unkind game.
Yep.
And that reflection thing is why it's necessary to keep it in place because I want to see myself like others see me, so I can behave in such a way as other people will approve of.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're just describing the collective dream.
Yes.
Very good, Lizzie.
And that is difficult to escape, because there's always someone looking in the mirror at me, and I'm always looking in the mirror at someone else. And that which we experience here in satsang, you know, that's very precious, exclusive thing, it would appear. I don't know how to get rid of all these ideas that other people have of me.
Well,
or that I have of other people.
Yeah, but here's the thing, they're just ideas.
But it's what what makes the world go round, yeah?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
They're
just ideas. An idea can't see, can't taste, touch, smell. An idea can't think. An idea can't hear.
No, but I tell you what, it seems to be responsible for my survival.
Good. It seems to be. Seems to be, Lizzie. It's not. The truth is, it's not. Yeah. Seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just talking to you, it's just kind of, rabbiting on. It's nonsense. But hey, it's the substance of everything, you know.
Yeah. It's all okay. It's all okay. I seem to be talking. I've got no idea what's going to come out of my mouth next. None. It's all right.
Yeah, well, I seem to have dreamt you up to be saying something in my mind.
Minds will form different concepts about what it is they're hearing until they see, oh, all these concepts.
Yeah.
Then the true hearing begins to happen. Then that is begins to hear, see, taste, touch, smell, if you like. Then the inging starts to happen. The true experience starts to happen. It's no longer overlaid by concepts. First, have to come to see, no matter what the mind says, it's conceptual.
Yes. Well, it's very interesting, that thing that you talk about, the inging. It's and it does kind of slot into the concept of time that you talk about, because this seeing, touching, if you are so present that you can do these things, so, the experiencing so finely, then you would have to be splitting seconds to get to the true essence of the feeling, yeah?
Yeah.
Which in a way is not even about splitting time into tiny bits. It's about a huge oneness, not a tiny splitting.
Very good.
Yeah. And that's about the generation. That's when the generator of consciousness comes into the now, which is
now,
erupting like, like Coca-Cola bubbles in a vending machine.
and here's something that you need, that not just you, Lizzie, everyone needs to see. Yeah? All of you have a direct experience of being conscious. That's all you know. You have no idea whether I'm conscious.
No.
Or someone else is conscious.
I don't even know if you're here. I don't even know if you're alive, actually.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yes.
This is how pointy the truth needs to get. That's the truth. In the end, what you're left with is, all I know, and this is a pointer, all I know is I am. I don't experience this I am in somebody else. It's here. I am. I know, and I have to put this dualistically, I know I am conscious. It's a direct experience. I know I am aware, being, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. It's the only truth I know. For the mind to then step in and say, other people are conscious and other people are aware and other people are seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, is bullshit.
Yeah, and that's the response. That's why it's the bullshit. Yeah.
Yep. So.
But it's also very, I kind of get the feeling of where you might be going, that because it's all I know, that I know nothing at all, there's this great separation from others. And yet, if you knew it in another way, it would be a great togetherness.
Yeah. And dive into the consciousness, Lizzie. It's your direct experience. It doesn't, it's direct. Sit still with this, seriously. And it sounds like you already are. It does. Because there's stuff that's coming out of you now that I haven't heard before. Haven't heard it.
I've been working on it.
You think you have. It just dawns.
Yeah.
It dawned, does it not? Can we say that we're responsible for the dawnings that we have?
Oh, God, no.
Good. So trust. And this is also what I mean when I say relax. It dawns. I mean, this is all part of the process. Yeah, we've got to basically disassemble the mind. That's got to be seen for what it is. Which is why I say, we've got to come to see what we're not. Have to. Come to see mind is purely conceptual. Purely. It's dualistic. It's conceptual. Outside of mind, there's no duality.
What does dualistic mean?
Good question. Tell me what it means.
I actually don't really know beyond the idea of opposites.
That'll do. And all the increments in between.
So
love, let's go. Love, hate, let's call the middle like. Oh, I like you a bit more. I like you a bit more, a bit more, a bit more. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. Oh, I really love you. Oh my God, I'm so in love with you. There's all the increments.
Yes.
Yeah. All made up by dualistic thought, thinking.
Okay, so you can be somewhere on the spectrum. You don't have to hold up an opposite.
No, but you wouldn't know one without the other.
You wouldn't know one part of this increment without another part of the increment.
Would you know hate without love?
I tend to think that the opposite of love is fear.
Okay. Would you know fear without love?
No.
Would you know love without fear?
Yes.
You'd know love without fear. Dualistically, I'm talking about.
Sorry? Dualistically, no.
Yeah, dualistically, I'm talking about. Just trying to show the clunkiness.
Yes.
Mind and what the mind is dependent on. It's dependent on both the opposites to then create a seeming person and a seeming world and a seeming here and a seeming there and a me and a you, and all manufactured in the mind, because the mind works dualistically. Outside of mind, there's no duality. Yes, there's no duality. None.
Well, then the color spectrum is an easy thing to look at. But outside of duality, with just the experience of seeing, colors as being seen as you're seeing.
Yeah, but the seeing doesn't discriminate. The seeing doesn't say, I see red, I see blue.
No, makes no comment.
Yeah. The seeing doesn't say, oh, that's separate from that. That's a bright blue, that's a dark blue. That's a red, that's a yellow. Seeing doesn't do that. Mind does that. Duality.
And like is a whole different script written for the mind. Like with colors, seeing just sees it. But then for the mind, the script is written, well, that was green that was seen, and it's a bit lighter there and a bit darker. And so
that's right. And then what the mind does, it takes it has a concept of blue. And then it takes the concept to be the color blue. It's a concept, Lizzie.
Well, once it's painted blue, it's not a concept.
Yeah, mind still has a concept of what blue is. Absolutely does. Absolutely does.
But there's many shades of blue.
There it is. There's the duality right there. There it is.
Yes. So how does the mind have a concept of blue if there are many shades of blue conceptually?
Easy. That's a dark blue. This is a light blue. There's your duality. Kaboom, boom. The seeing doesn't say that, Lizzie.
No. Well, in a way, it couldn't say that, could it? Because it's too busy being it, is to interpret it.
Good. Good. Good.
Oh, something came to my mind. Someone said, and it was a really good thing for me to hear, that the body is an animated cadaver.
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
It helps me to get not to be so involved with it.
Yeah, honestly, Lizzie, with you right now, what I'm feeling really strongly inclined to say is, Lizzie, just notice the seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, being, awareing. Stay with the ing.
It's a very simple thing.
Yes, this is simple.
I know. I think really, what is all this thing about, Western philosophers and all the stuff they rave on about? It's nonsense.
No, but that's okay. That's just all part of the collective dream. It's all okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it just is what it is. And this now is what it is.
Yes. As people, we are often, not as people, but that idea of being the inging, that makes me feel very humble.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, after all, I wasn't Kant or Plato. After all, I was just seeing, hearing, touching.
Surrender into that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep. Humbly surrender into that. It's the truth. Good. Be still, Lizzie. It's good. Be still. Just, I'm not telling a person to be still. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. And I did get the collywobbles the other day. The mind threw a fit and thought, fuck no, I'm not going anywhere near that. What have I been doing all my life? I can stop that immediately. It did. It had that. And I did stop it.
It just stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it started again. And
Put an ing on still.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, that's an activity.
It's alive. The being is alive.
But it comes from nothing. Is that alive?
Find out. I'm not going to spoon feed you from this point.
I really don't think it matters if you do, Terry. I don't remember.
I know.
Say to me, I have no idea.
Yeah. Now just.
Yes, but I take your point. Yeah.
The mind just starts to go quiet, Lizzie. It just has less and less to say, less and less to want to know. Just starts to go quiet. Where are you right now? Here. Where have you been observing the mind from your whole life? Here. Where are you sitting right now? Here. Where's the seeing happening? Here. You could replace the word here with now. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they're the same.
Now just start to notice this. It's good. You're all right. Good.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah, beautiful. Good. Just assume for a moment, or for a whole day, or until the next time we get together in satsang, that you are the only thing on the whole planet that is conscious. Now go there. You can ask yourself, the truth of that. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Can you experience consciousness that's happening here? I mean, I'm sitting here saying, I'm conscious. How could you know that for a fact? How could you know it for a fact? And the truth is, you can't. You can't until you can. But until you can, you can't. And you need to accept you can't, and then just stay with your own direct experience of being conscious, alive, here. Anything else the mind, because the mind will say, yeah, others are conscious. That's not your direct experience. It's not your direct experience. Keep coming back to your direct experience. Don't let the mind get away with anything. Don't let it get away with it. Come back to the truth. The truth is, all I know is I'm conscious. That's the truth. It's an assumption that others are conscious. Yeah. Like it's an assumption it's me being reflected back in the mirror. It's an assumption. It's not true. When you look at it, analyze it, look at it. What's the actual truth? The actual truth. The truth is what sets us free. It is. It is. And the mind is dishonest, untruthful. It's a liar. The poor thing, it doesn't know. It's dishonest, untruthful, and a liar. It doesn't know. It doesn't know. The truth can know, though. The false will not stand up to investigation. It won't. It won't come from the truth. From your direct experience, not from what you think. The mind wouldn't know the truth if it tripped over it. Wouldn't. Yeah. But the truth is, tell me if I'm wrong, all you know is you are conscious. Is that the truth? Do you know someone else is conscious? You'd have to be able to step into their body and experience consciousness from there to go, oh, yep, yeah, they're conscious. Go back to your own. The truth is here. The knowing is here. It's here. Come back to the truth.